What is going on, Halo Zone? Ditty is back again, and today I want to talk with you about the state of Halo and how its life is going. And I want this to be open for discussion. All I'm going to ask of you is that you respect other people's opinions down in the comments below. So, to understand how Halo is doing in the world of gamers, we have to go back and reflect on how the series got to where it is today. So I'll start with Halo 2. Now, why not Halo CE? Well, because I want to focus on the multiplayer aspect of Halo instead of the storyline, because most of what people have to say about each Halo relates to their multiplayer experiences. Halo 2 is considered by many to be the best Halo. Why is this? Most people will say it's because of the ranking system of Halo 2. It was simple. If you won, you went up. If you lost, you went down. Easy. However, with this system, it was very, very difficult to reach the highest level 50 legitimately. People would always get up around the mid-40s and stay there because matchmaking was hard at those levels. Anything higher than a 40 was considered, quote, semi-pro. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the ranking system because I plan to make a video about that later on in the summer. But what about Halo 2's gameplay? I mean, that's the whole experience right there. With the introduction of the BR, competitive gameplay shot through the roof with a hit scan utility weapon, meaning wherever you aimed, that's where the bullets hit. Mastering the 4-shot BR was the key to success. And let's not forget the button glitches. Although they were unintentional, the button glitches created a massive skill gap in online competitive play. If you couldn't BXR or double shoot, you were at a severe disadvantage. Sniping was a little bit easier because of high amounts of auto aim in the game. Jump heights and movement speeds were perfectly fit to the maps like most games have. And in terms of weapon balance, nothing really stood out to be overpowered. Sure, you could say the rockets or sniper are too strong, but that's why they're called power weapons. Because everybody starts with the same weapon, these power weapons became points of contention, giving a Slayer game an objective to control. So that was pretty much Halo 2, the first massive online multiplayer competitive first-person shooter. It had an easy-to-understand ranking system, balanced weapons, and had elements in the game to create skill gaps to discern which players were the best of the best. Let's move on to Halo 3. With Halo 2's competitive appeal, Halo 3 blew up the professional gaming scene. Halo 3's ranking system was a little bit more complex. I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Bungie didn't like the fact that only around 1% of their gamers could reach a level 50 in Halo 2, so that made the system a little bit easier to achieve this goal. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on the ranks, but basically, it was easier to get the highest level of 50 in each playlist of Halo 3 than it was in Halo 2. This made a lot of people happier, but it also made some people mad that it was so easy. Still, I'm not going to argue about the ranks. I'm going to leave that for another video. Let's move on to Halo 3's gameplay. Unlike Halo 2, Halo 3 was not a hit scan game. Bullets fired were considered projectiles with flight times, meaning you would have had to lead your shots in order for them to hit your target at longer ranges. This caused problems. Now, some of you may say leading your shots makes sense because that's realistic and it creates a skill gap. Okay, fair enough. I'll agree with the skill gap part. But as far as realism goes, dude, this game is set in the 2500s, 500 years in the future. If we can't put bullets where we're aiming in 500 years, then humanity is screwed. So don't complain to me because Halo isn't realistic. It's science fiction. Okay, end of that rant. Anyways, a projectile system causes problems because of lag. If I'm in New York, for example, and I'm playing on an Australian host, my shots are going to register less often than they would with a hit scan system. I'd be lagging either way, but having to lead my shots on a host with greater than 500 milliseconds of ping is frustrating because I don't know if my shots are hitting or not. With a hit scan weapon, I know where my bullets are supposed to be, so it's a little bit easier to understand. Halo 3's competitive scene was enormous. The height of Halo is what we call it these days. MLG, or Major League Gaming, made Halo the most played and most watched game on the Xbox for years. Players such as T-Squared, Walshy, Neighbor, and many others made their names on the Halo 3 competitive scene. Okay, maybe not Walshy or the Ogres or T-Squared. They were pretty huge in Halo 2 as well. But anyways, Halo 3 was built to be competitive, and that's exactly what it was. Sure, it had its downsides with lag, but that's all online multiplayer games. Like Halo 2, Halo 3's gameplay was simple, gun-on-gun action with power weapon objectives and balanced gameplay. Now Halo Reach. This is where Halo takes its dive. Bungie's last Halo game, and they destroyed the community. And it all comes down to a simple addition and a simple subtraction. Armor abilities and no ranks. Now, wait, some of you will say, no, it was the custom loadouts too. Well, yes, okay, but I imagine custom loadouts would not have been a thing if armor abilities were not in the game. Anyways, the introduction of armor abilities forced a type of player customization that created certain imbalances in the game that did not fit the Halo competitive meta. Bungie had hoped that with this new level of depth, the competitive game would evolve with the series, but the majority of competitive Halo veterans absolutely despise this idea. There are so many reasons why each armor ability was rejected by the community, but I won't go into them because that would make this video longer than it already is. But basically, armor abilities created unbalanced gameplay not fit for competitive Halo. This caused a majority of people to believe that Halo was turning into Call of Duty, which completely disgusted people, making Halo Reach the first Halo to not be as successful as intended. The population dropped drastically, as there were virtually no professional scene for Halo Reach. Why? Because there were no ranks. For the first time, Halo is seen as a casual shooter. Rankless playlists means there is no motivation for people to play competitively since there's nothing to strive for. Without that desire to earn a 50, people simply stopped playing. Only after a title update did we see the competitive scene for Reach start to pick up. Why? No armor abilities to start, no bloom on the DMR, and bleed through shielding was a huge step in the right direction, but by no means a competitive revival, a complete revival for Halo's former MLG glory. So now we get into Halo 4, the first non-Bungie Halo in the series. Since the fall of Reach, see what I did there? The quote, classic Halo players, i.e. Halo 2 and Halo 3 veterans, were either not interested in Halo 4 or somewhat interested. Some thought, oh, they'll just try and copy what Reach was and it'll be complete crap. Others thought, hey, here's a new developer who can maybe bring back Halo back to its roots. And I can safely say, I don't think either of these people are correct. After playing Halo 4 for a few months, it doesn't feel like Halo 2, 3, or Reach. It's its own game. Hit scan weapons are back, which is absolutely the way it should be, but there are still no ranks. Halo's competitive scene was crying for a proper ranking system to be included with their game, but 343 Industries failed to deliver, at least right off the bat. They still kept the armor abilities, but they made Sprint a default on all players. A new Slayer mode called Infinity Slayer introduced ordnance drops from the sky, which disgusted people more than Reach's armor abilities. They said, great, now Halo has kill streaks like Call of Duty, RIP Halo. Obtaining an ordnance drop was like getting a free power weapon delivered right to your feet. It's not like it, it's exactly what it was. This creates another form of imbalance that, in Halo, it does not agree with the competitive meta. Despite this, community members such as Ghostiyami and a few others worked with 343 Industries, creating competitive settings for Halo 4, which have been very successful in the professional scene in events such as AGL, and UMG. I'm going to say these competitive settings are fabulous. It's the way Halo 4 should have launched. I'll say that as much. To me, it seems as if Halo 4's competitive scene is a little bit bigger than Reach's. Why? Because Halo 4, at its core, is a very good competitive game. When you make ordnance drops give you a specific set and not random armor abilities, it brings Halo 4 back down to a more basic competitive shooter like Halo 2 or 3. And that's the whole point. Halo 4 is mechanically one of the best Halos I've ever played. Yes, there are certain elements in the game that I do not agree with, but the character movement, hit detection, oh my gosh, kill times, jump heights, and even map designs are extremely well put together. So now that we understand Halo's history and how it's progressed, we can understand what the state Halo is in. Halo is a series, and I say it's getting there. Halo 4 was overall a step in the right direction for the Halo series. Reach threw the scene so far off that it was very difficult to bring back all the fans that it lost to the series. I don't think 343 will remove armor abilities or ordnance drops in the next one, but with the massive competitive scene still crying out for settings like the new ones Ghostiyami and others have created, I think 343 will get the idea that if this type of Halo does not appear in their next title, then Halo will never be revived to its Halo 3 prime. Halo needed some serious reworks after Reach devastated the community, and I believe Halo 4 helped. Picture this. Halo 2 and 3 was Halo's summer after senior year of high school, and Reach was the car accident that put it in the hospital before college, with a lot of broken bones. Halo 4 is the cast and the physical therapy that helps heal the damage, but does not by any means cure the patient to its previous strength. There needed to be something that helped the series, and I believe it was Halo 4. So that's all I have to say on my thoughts of the state of Halo. I'll be making more commentaries regarding what I want to see in Halo 5, the importance of ranking system in competitive games, and my overall impressions of Halo 4. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you're still with me, don't forget to leave the video a like, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more awesome content right here on Halo Zone. That's it for me. For daily videos, you can go over and subscribe to my own channel. I'm currently playing every playlist in every Halo game to date still online, and I believe I'm in Halo Reach right now. I just finished Halo 3, and you guys can go check out that series. It's called Halo's Life on my own channel, and come on over and have some fun. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.